See you later, Greggy. Bye. Okay, I'll cancel Barbie again. I'll clip the stupid hedges. You don't have to if you don't want to. Back in the 1960s and 1970s, few shows capture hearts like the Brady Bunch. 2.5 to 2.5. Cindy voted twice, but each way, with its wholesome take on family life, catchy theme song, and lovable characters, the show quickly became a household favorite. For 6 years, it painted the picture of a big blended family navigating life with laughter, love, and the occasional teenage drama. But while the Bradys lived in harmony on screen, life after the spotlight wasn't always as bright for the cast. Some went on to live fulfilling lives, while others faced hardships, scandals, or heartbreak. Sadly, a few have also passed on. So, what really happened to the cast of the Brady Bunch? Let's dive into the real stories behind those iconic TV smiles. Robert Reed. Can you believe it's been almost 50 years since the Brady Bunch signed off the air? The beloved sitcom about a big blended family was a huge hit during its original run from 1969 to 1974, launching several young stars and giving us that catchy theme song we still can't get out of our heads. Here's the story of a lovely lady. Since then, the cast have come together for reunions, specials, and award shows, and even starred in a home renovation series centered on the original Brady house, which just sold, by the way. But not everything has been sunshine and smiles. Over the years, the cast have faced major highs and heartbreaking lows, including the loss of their TV mom, dad, and the beloved housekeeper, Alice. Now, let's talk about Robert Reed, who played the wise and calm Mike Brady, but whose real life was far more complicated. Before the Brady Bunch, Reed was already a seasoned actor. He got his big break in the mid-1950s, but it was the 1961 drama, The Defenders, that made him a TV name. He starred alongside E.G. Marshall, playing a father and son lawyer duo. Around this time, Reed also joined the actor studio in New York, home to some of the most serious and talented actors in the business, and he stayed a proud member for the next 30 years. In 1964, while still on The Defenders, Reed made his Broadway debut in Barefoot in the Park, stepping in for none other than Robert Redford's. The show's success led to 2 new offers in 1968, one from Paramount Pictures and another from ABC. When Paramount decided to remake Barefoot in the Park with a mostly black cast, they looked to give Reed a new project, one that would become TV history. That show, The Brady Bunch. The creator, Sherwood Schwartz, had read an article in the Los Angeles Times saying that nearly 30% of marriages involve kids from previous relationships. That sparked an idea. Why not make a sitcom about 2 families becoming one? And so, the concept for the Brady Bunch was born. Interestingly, Reed wasn't the first choice for Mike Brady. The role was originally offered to Gene Hackman, but producers passed on him because he wasn't a big name at the time. Reed got the part, but he wasn't thrilled about it. From the very beginning, Reed disliked the role. As a serious Shakespearean actor, he thought the show's lighthearted and often silly scripts were beneath his training. He frequently clashed with Schwartz, demanding more realism in the storylines. He could be tough to work with, and directors found him difficult both on and off set. But here's the twist. Despite all that, the rest of the cast really liked him. He was respected, especially by the younger actors. They saw a man who cared deeply about quality, even if it came off as stubbornness. Reed regularly handed Schwartz handwritten notes pointing out problems in the script, like when character actions didn't make sense or when the show mixed farce and satire in ways that just didn't work. Schwartz usually brushed off Reed's complaints, but to keep the peace, he sometimes let him direct a few episodes. In a 1983 interview, Reed didn't hold back. "We fought over the scripts," he said. "Always over the scripts." He felt Schwartz, known for creating Gilligan's Island, was only interested in silly gag lines. That would have been the Brady Bunch. Reed claimed, "If I hadn't protested." Reed's biggest frustration came during the final episode titled The Harebrained Scheme. He was so unhappy with the script that he wrote Schwartz a memo tearing it apart. Unfortunately, Schwartz got it too late to make changes, so Reed flat out refused to appear in the episode. By then, Schwartz had had enough. He planned to replace Reed in what would have been the show's 6th season. But before that could happen, ABC canceled the show. Years later, Reed admitted he only took the role for the money. Still, he tried to keep a positive attitude by reminding himself the show was really about the kids, not Mike Brady. Despite all the drama behind the scenes, Reed never let his frustration show on camera. He always gave a professional performance, playing the perfect TV dad, even if he didn't feel that way inside. He genuinely liked his co-stars, and the kids in particular saw him as a real father figure. Actress Susan Olsen, who played Cindy, even became good friends with Reed's daughter Karen, who made a guest appearance in the episode The Slumber Caper. Reed's final appearance on the show was in the second-to-last episode The Hustler. Fittingly, his final line was, "Now I can get my car in the garage." After the Brady Bunch ended in 1974, Reed returned to the stage and guest starred in other shows and TV movies like Prey for the Wilds and SST Death Flight. In 1975, he earned critical praise and even an Emmy nomination for playing a transgender doctor in a 2-part episode of Medical Center. Oddly enough, even though he disliked the Brady Bunch, Reed kept coming back for spin-offs and sequels. In 1976, he appeared in the Brady Bunch Hour, a cheesy variety show he actually enjoyed because it gave him the chance to sing and dance, 2 things he loved. In 1990, Reed played Mike Brady One Last Time to Brady's, a more serious drama-style sequel, but once again, he clashed with Schwartz over the scripts. In fact, one unproduced episode even had Mike Brady die in a helicopter crash, possibly as a result of their disagreements. But the Bradys got canceled after just 6 episodes, so that storyline never aired. Reed's final TV appearance came in April 1992 on an episode of Jake and the Fat Man called Ain't Misbehaving. As he neared the end of his life, Reed joined a touring production of Love Letters with Betsy Palmer and taught Shakespeare classes at UCLA. Going back to his roots, in November 1991, Reed was diagnosed with colon lymphoma, a rare colorectal cancer. He kept his illness private, only allowing his daughter Karen and a close friend, actress Haney, to visit him. Just weeks before his death, Reed called Florence Henderson and asked her to tell the rest of the Brady cast he was terminally ill. Robert Reed died on May 12, 1992 at Huntington Memorial Hospital in Pasadena. He was just 59 years old. At first, it was reported that Reed died solely from cancer, but later, details from his death certificate revealed something more. He had also been HIV positive. He had been diagnosed in spring 1991, but told only a few close friends. To this day, no one knows exactly when or how he contracted the virus. What we do know is that he kept his private life truly private, right to the very end. Though he didn't die of AIDS, his HIV status was listed on his certificate as one of the significant conditions contributing to his death. Up next is Ann B. Davis. Anneb Davis. And Davis first made a name for herself, playing a witty secretary on NBC's The Bob Cummings Show, a role that earned her 2 Emmy Awards for Best Supporting Actress in Comedy. But the world came to know and love her as Alice Nelson, the loyal housekeeper on the Brady Bunch. From 1969 to 1974, Davis played Alice, quick with a joke, always dependable, and part of the heart of the Brady family. And even after the original show ended, she wasn't done with the role. She came back for several Brady Bunch movies, including The Brady Girls Get Married and A Very Brady Christmas. She also returned in 2 spin-offs, The Brady Brides, which only ran for 10 episodes, and The Bradys, which ended after just 6. In 1995, she made a fun cameo in the Brady Bunch movie, this time as a truck driver named Schulze, a nod to her earlier TV days. In 1994, Davis published a fun and nostalgic cookbook called Alice's Brady Bunch Cookbook, filled with recipes inspired by the show along with favorite dishes from the other cast members. In the early 90s, Davis went back to her first love, theater. She performed in Arsenic and Old Lace and joined both the Broadway run and world tour of Crazy for You. Though she slowed down a bit, Davis never fully retired. She popped up in Shake and Bake ads, then in a few Swiffer Mop commercials, and stayed active in Brady Bunch reunions. One of her last big appearances was during the Brady Bunch 35th anniversary reunion special on TV Land. When she stepped on stage, the crowd gave her a standing ovation. Davis never married and didn't chase after more major roles. She lived comfortably off her Screen Actors Guild pension, enjoying aerobics and studying theology. On June 1st, 2014, she passed away at age 88 in a San Antonio hospital. Earlier that day, she had suffered a subdural hematoma after a fall in her bathroom. She was living with Bishop Fry and his wife Barbara at the time. Friends said she had been in excellent health for her age, and that her death was a complete shock. Maureen McCormick. Maureen McCormick was born on August 5, 1956, in the Enino neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. Her parents were Irene and Richard McCormick, a school teacher. She grew up in a Catholic home and had 3 older brothers, Michael, Dennis, and Kevin. At just 6 years old, Maureen won the Baby Miss San Fernando Valley Beauty Contest. Not long after, in 1964, she was already on national TV, appearing in commercials for Mattel's Barbie and Chatty Cathy dolls. As the 1960s continued, she landed guest roles in popular shows like Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Honey West, The Farmer's Daughter, and My 3 Sons. In Bewitched, she played 2 versions of Ender, first as one of Darren's with children, then as Ender herself in little girl form. She also voiced a redesigned Chatty Cathy doll in 1970. Her big break came when she was cast as Marcia Brady, the oldest daughter in the Brady Bunch. Marcia had a cheerful, popular personality and quickly became a fan favorite. Though the show ended in the mid-70s, reruns made it a beloved classic for generations. During the show's run, she had an off and on romance with her co-star Barry Williams. She kept playing Marcia in other ways, too, like voicing her character in the Brady Kids cartoon. Alongside the Brady cast, she recorded 4 music albums and even went on tour. In 1972, Maureen released her first solo single, followed by a pop album in 1973 with co-star Christopher Knight, called Chris Knight and Mean McCormick. That same year, she released 2 more singles, including Little Bird, which did well in the western U.S., especially in Salt Lake City, where it hit the top 5. She even performed Little Bird on American Bandstand, where Dick Clark encouraged her to keep singing. She followed that with another single, Loves and the Roses. Years later, in 2015, McCormick's role as Marcia found new life in a Fun Snickers commercial that aired during Super Bowl. The ad featured actor Danny Joe playing a grumpy version of Marcia until a Snickers bar helped her feel like herself again. Then McCormick reappeared as the real Marcia. After the Brady Bunch ended, Maureen McCormick faced serious personal struggles. In her early 20s, she became addicted to cocaine and cards, which severely hurt her acting career. I had come out of a 5-year heavy cocaine addiction. She later admitted to trading sex for drugs during this period and described how addiction took over her life. At one point, she showed up to an audition with Steven Spielberg for a role in Raiders of the Lost Arkansas after staying awake for 3 days on drugs. Unsurprisingly, the audition went poorly and she developed a reputation in Hollywood for being unreliable. One producer even told her she might never work in the industry again. Alongside her addiction, McCormick also battled bulimia and depression. Even with those challenges, McCormick managed to book guest roles during the 1970s and 1980s on shows like Happy Days, Donnie and Marie, The Love Boat Vegas, The Streets of San Francisco, and Fantasy Island. Despite trying for more serious roles such as a prostitute or drug dealer in Midnight Express, casting agents couldn't see past her image as Marcia Brady. She continued to revisit that iconic role in reunion shows and spin-offs, including The Brady Bunch Hour, The Brady Girls Get Married, and The Brady Brides. In 1983, she took on a different kind of role, playing Wendy Darling in a stage tour of Peter Pan. In 1985, McCormick married Michael Cummings. Her road to recovery began after their marriage, but it wasn't easy. She went through multiple interventions, rehab programs, and even experimental treatments. One controversial psychologist, Eugene Landy, gave her a cocktail of medications that only worsened her condition. At one point, her mental health declined so much that she threatened to jump off a balcony in front of her husband. Eventually, she began taking antidepressants, including Prozac, which helped stabilize her. She credited her recovery in part to the support of her former Brady Bunch castmates. She continued to act occasionally, including a small role as a police officer, and made headlines in April 2007 when she appeared on Dr. Phil to discuss a family conflict. She accused her brother Kevin of elder abuse and claimed he had manipulated their father to gain control of his finances. That same year, McCormick joined the 5th season of VH1 Celebrity Fit Club. Motivated by the death of her mother from cancer and her responsibility for her disabled brother, she aimed to lose 30 pounds and succeeded in losing 34. She was named the winner of the season in June 2007. In October 2008, she released her memoir, Here's the Story: Surviving Marsha Brady and Finding My True Voice. The book quickly became a New York Times bestseller, debuting at number 4 and staying on the list for 3 weeks. It was published by HarperCollins and acquired by Lisa Shai, Director of Creative Development. Her journey came full circle in later years. In 2020, McCormick was named a Global Ambassador for Special Olympics International. Then in 2021, she stepped into the world of home design, co-hosting Frozen in Time on HGTV alongside contractor Dan Vickery, helping families restore and refresh outdated homes. Florence Henderson. Florence Henderson is best known for her iconic role as Carol Brady. Interestingly, her close friend Shirley Jones had originally turned down the role, thanks largely to her beloved portrayal of the Brady family matriarch. Henderson was ranked #54 on TV Land and Entertainment Weekly's list of the 100 greatest TV icons. After her Brady Bunch fame, Henderson continued acting in numerous film and TV roles, including several Brady Bunch spin-offs. She also appeared on shows like Handy Manny, The Cleveland Show, The Hollywood Squares, and even hosted her own talk show. Her presence extended into reality TV as well, where she appeared on Surreal Life and competed in Season 11 of Dancing with the Stars. In addition to acting, Henderson had a passion for cooking and hosted 3 cooking shows. Henderson married Ira Bernstein in 1956, and the couple had 4 children. They divorced in 1985. In 1987, she married Dr. John George Kappas, a hypnotherapist she had met when he treated her for depression and stage fright in the early 1980s. They were married until Kappas's death in 2002. Henderson had 5 grandchildren. Florence Henderson passed away on November the 24th, 2016, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles at the age of 82. She had been hospitalized the day before, but according to her manager, Kayla Pressman, her death from heart failure was unexpected, and she had not shown signs of illness. Just 3 days before her passing, Henderson had attended a live taping of Dancing with the Stars to support her time friend and former on-screen daughter Maureen McCormick. Barry Williams. Barry Williams, born in 1954 in Santa Monica, California, is the youngest of 3 boys. His parents were Doris Maymore and Frank Miller Blankhorn, a Canadian of English, Scottish, and German descent. Williams and his brothers Craig and Scott were raised in Pacific Palisades, where actor Peter Graves was a neighbor. Williams decided early in life to become an actor. In 1967, he made his television debut in a Christmas episode of Dragnet 1967. He followed this with guest roles on several popular TV shows such as Adam 12, Mission Impossible, That Girl, The Mod Squad, Gumer, Pile, USMC, and Marcus Welby, Maryland. His big break came in 1969 when he was cast as Greg Brady, the oldest son on the Brady Bunch. After the Brady Bunch ended in 1974, Williams moved into musical theater, touring with shows like Grease, The Sound of Music, Pippin, and West Side Story. In 1988, he joined Broadway's Romance, taking over the lead role after Scott Bakula left. In 1984, Williams broke from his Greg Brady image when he was cast as the English conman Hannibal on General Hospital. Over the years, he returned for several Brady Bunch spin-offs and reunions. In 1989, he received the former Child Star Lifetime Achievement Award from the Young Artist Foundation. His 1992 autobiography, Growing Up Brady, I Was a Teenage Greg, co-written with Chris Kresge, became a New York Times bestseller and was adapted into a TV film in 2000. That same year, he co-wrote and released a parody of Eminem's The Real Slim Shady, called The Real Greg Brady. Williams has appeared in several other TV shows, including Highway to Heaven, Murder, She Wrote, Full House, and That 7S Show. He also made a brief appearance in Peter Gabriel's 2002 music video, The Barry Williams Show, although the song wasn't about him. And he has danced at the world's largest disco in Buffalo, New York, multiple times. From 2001 to 2002, he played Dean the Machine Strickland in Hollywood 7, a show featuring British pop group S Club 7. In 2003, he played himself in Dickie Roberts' former child star. In 2000